Gamers, welcome to my headquarters. And yes, these these things came in today. Hey, yeah, these are my new mics. Thanks. Yeah, we're back. Back. Well, technically, I'm back to actually using a clip-on mic because last time I had a clip-on mic on, and things didn't go exactly well. You see, one of my old connectors broke, and in order to actually stream, I needed a connector to hook up these clip-on mics so that I can actually be heard better. So, thanks to the new mic's arrival, which just came in today, hey, I'm happy to report that I am back in action. And, and, and thanks to the design of my new camera, which I didn't know had other additional modes aside from the standard one, including grayscale, which you see now. Oh, back to color. Definitely 10 out of 10, especially with the swivel feature, which I really enjoy because my old webcam didn't actually do so well. Now, you may have noticed that the comments of my old stream got deleted by YouTube. Well, actually, YouTube turned them off without my consent, by the way. Screw you, YouTube. But nonetheless, I am happy to report that in spite of a quote unquote quote accusation that Green Demons had, that it was a quote unquote but but I did check out the channel and I can officially confirm that it is actually a real person, not a bot. But if it was a quote unquote bot, then it would have been automatically taken down by YouTube because that violates YouTube's laws. Well, guidelines technically, but I did check it out. Came from a user called IOSA. Hey, and here's on a recent video that I did. Stupid YouTube. Oh, but yeah, I did save the screenshot. But before YouTube turned the comments off, so thank God for that. Because I want to remember that comment for a very long time. Same. Now, in addition to my new mics, I've ordered a brand new smartwatch. One that looks like a phone, but is actually a smartwatch. With over a two with a 2-inch screen, which I will be reviewing a little later on. And I'm hoping that it will fit well. Well, it's coming near September 16th, which just so happens to be the birthday, at the mom's birthday. Now, do not worry. I have gotten her a gift, but I'm not telling you which gift. That will be a surprise. Nice. And I'm not telling her which gift either. That's a surprise too. So, birthday's on the 15th of September. And as you know, Caesar celebrates his birthday on the 20th. Yeah. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be a big, big, big thing. One thing that my camera has, which my old one didn't, is a mode button in which you can view a grayscale stream. Just now, as you know, hang on. Let me clear up the camera. There we go. As you guys know, whenever I get a new product, I tend to review it. What? Just like this one. This is the Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus, which houses all of my favorite features from my previous tablet. And when I don't have the Spotify Premium on my devices, I take solace in the fact that Spotify is free to listen to in the first place, so I guess it's not really that important. But I can still afford now sadly I will not since I had to downgrade to the monthly plan, but I'm hoping to get it in the next month, which just so happens to be my birthday month. And as I always say, Sid, I am on the roll with these videos, but I'm doing right now, as a matter of fact. One of them being a big project collaboration with Gabe Osaka. Hmm. 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 As you know, that is called Penelope and Emily's Big Movie, in which it has all of the characters that I previously worked on, plus the characters that I actually recently gave new looks to. Oh, except for that boy, since he's brand new. And during the events of the movie, he's moving in. And that's right, a new boy coming into the world of Gabe Osaka. The one thing that I am um kind of impressed on is the fact that due to the fact that my new mics came in, I now officially have a spare connector, uh, a spare USB-C to USB-A connector. So I have two, and that's actually very good because I tried something else and I didn't expect this, but I can apparently turn on my DVD player without having to turn on the power button. All I need is a simple computer and and a portable DVD player in order for it to work. Hmm. And oh my goodness, it does work well. Oh, oh. So for example, you may have this type of computer, and you want to connect it to something important or something cool. Or like, like a movie you would want to watch. Uh, mm, mm, uh, mm, uh, and you can. Then, see, with this device, nice, and this spare little thing, you can connect a USB-C to it, and if I plug in this side to the USB-A port and plug this side to the computer, uh, that will give me a boost in computer speed. Right. Right. Hmm. So, for example, right, right. So, for example, oh, mm, yeah. Sometimes my camera just wants to fuss. So, for example, if I plug in a USB cable to this side, oh, why is this doing this? Oh, wait, I can do this. So basically, if I plug it into here, uh, uh, the DVD player will turn on. Now my DVD player is NTSC region, and if I and this is a Canadian region. DVD player uh, that a family member gave to me a long time ago. Oh, it's like a laptop-based DVD player. Huh. No, well, and speaking of DVDs, there was some kind of there were tech fails that came with DVDs on the HD DVD. Hey, now, as you guys know, HD DVD yeah, they went defunct in 2008, but a lot of people don't know this, but actually got, got discontinued, continued, continued, code, code for the HD DVD players themselves until 2010. Then, then, hmm, hmm, hmm. So, if I were to actually get an HD DVD player, it would also be would be interesting to note that the HD DVD player uh, was also an accessory for not just the original Xbox 360, but also the Xbox 360 Elite series. Before the Slim came out. Out, out, and although my DVD player is designed, uh, although my DVD player is a popular style DVD player, it was technically a special edition DVD player. And with it, the DVD player itself oh, oh, resembled around the Paw Patrol era. Huh. Huh. Now, HD DVD was basically released in 2006, the year that the 2006 to 2023 Disney logo was was launched, 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 and the same year as Blu-ray. Blu-ray, however, I believe Blu-ray was more 2005 than 2006. X. I could be wrong though. And of course, was you know that my PlayStation cap came from Amazon a few months ago. Oh, I ordered it on Amazon, but PlayStation delivered it from Amazon. So technically, it was a 2-1 deal. Oh, but as a side note, I did test out my Blu-ray player with the HD compatibility and my capture card. And it's safe to say that it's definitely a good choice if you want to capture movies from a Blu-ray perspective. Although HD DVD did technically suffer a lot of problems because when it comes to HD DVD, it just didn't meet the quality as as Blu-ray triumphed over all of them, and became the superior. And although they still make DVDs to this day, there's also Blu-rays as well. Mm. And and yeah, it definitely sucked, as Mason said. Had 3 out of 10 fail. Hell, as Mr. Who's the Boss would, let's say. Well, his name is technically Aaron. But yeah. If you don't know who Mr. Who's the Boss is, he's this tech YouTuber who makes a lot of videos based on technology and has become the superior sorts of knowing what kind of technology exists. He he even inspired me to get a smartwatch that looks like a phone so that I can review it and see how good it actually is. Now it's definitely a different compared to how it works. Mm, mm. And when it comes to DVD players, because even though HD DVD no longer makes releases after 2008, you can always still buy HD DVD from discs from online shopping like eBay or Amazon. There's also regular DVD ROM discs and now Blu-ray ROM discs as well. Now, so if people were to put Blu-ray ROM discs and some special episodes into a special design, fine. If CJ Studios were to make an actual Blu-ray disc or DVD release of one of their series like Digital Vids or The Adventures of Beyond City, then people would definitely be tempted to buy some discs, and it would be counted as selling merchandise. Hmm. Now, now there are some fan-made Blu-ray discs, and Mason owns some fan-made Blu-ray releases, including the Teletubbies revamp from Netflix and Disenchanted from 2022, and the complete series of Redwall. Hmm. And of course, 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 unlike some DVD players, this one could actually turn 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 around from a 90-degree angle to a 100. Now it's just playing past DVD. Some I played on my special portable DVD player. Yeah, don't judge me. I am a fan of that show. Oh, it's Paw Patrol. Hope you guys understand. And but yeah, in the case of how oh, 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 in the case of how capture cards work, mm, and Betamax was a thing back in the day, but it was it didn't last long, as it was mostly retired in the 1980s. Yes, and old Disney wasn't into home video quite yet. At at mm, it was even a Betamax release. He's a beauty and a beast. Yes, forgot. Hmm. Hmm. And and while a lot of things flopped, hmm, when it came to Disney classics, the ultimate trilogy of Disney Magic, it actually began in the 1980s. These lead up to the events where you actually have to go over back in time to the 1940s. See, when Disney Studios was like also essentially was escape the harsh realities of World War II, it was changing their priorities from animated feature films to wartime training films and educational shorts and moral boosting propaganda. But understandably, these were far from profitable, so Walt Disney and his brother Roy decided to re-release Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in theaters for little financial support. And, and of course, it's more of a great picture. It's a feeling experience. First, it was an incredible success. Yes, and as Mason said, had even VHX and Betamax had a videotape war, which obviously sucked. Some received fewer releases based on lower box office performance. Every time the film left theaters, it was referred to as having gone into the Disney vault, and will be only taken out of the vaults for another theatrical re-release, even as years and television came into the picture. And Disney's feature films were very unique. They were never seen outside of theaters yet. But, but this was in stark contrast to other studios who took full advantage of television's rise in popularity, as well as the fact that there wasn't at the time a way to own films at the point. However, movies finally had a life outside of theaters that was only the beginning. Beginning, beginning. What's up, Sean? Pain. They say Controvision was the first version into home video, and having immediate access to TV programs via choice of featuring films, educational, cultural materials, and your own home movies. Technically, the first attempt of home video. Oh, and it was actually in 1972. Oh, oh, fact, fact. It was a VCR, a video cassette recorder, and for the first time ever, you could record, rent a feature-length film from a wide range of titles and then view them from home. But Disney was one of the only few studios that who refused to allow any of their movies in this early vision for home entertainment. And the primary reason was conscious revisions availability of recording television programs on the tape, as Disney was strongly against what they saw as a gateway of piracy. And unfortunately, cartridge film rentals could only be ordered from a catalog, and watched a single time without the ability to rewind, while the plan was to release a standalone version the next year. The initial device only came prepackaged with a TV and saw terrible sales within a single year. And within a single same year, the entire CartridgeVision device was abandoned. And 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 now these shows and movies could not be done without scripts, and that reminds me, for instance, there's a few Taylor's scripts done, and I think we're gonna love them. I know I'm gonna love them because I'm a part of a series, and I know it's not released until next year, but hey, at least it's different. And the home entertainment revolution was near and truly began in the mid-70s with Betamax, Betamax actually started in the mid-70s, not the mid-80s. Yes. And of course, with VHS. Yes, some of the best movies on television that aren't on television, because now you can buy full-length, uncut movies and cassettes. That's like, 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 Hutton, Holding, and lots more. With Select Division, you could go to movies at your house. And well, initially, the Betamax and VHS devices were pretty darn expensive, especially when adjusting for inflation. They were incredibly successful and changed home. It, actually, Mason and Betamax and VHS were launched. Uh, and was actually the same year, 1977, not 1975 or 1976. Six. It was only anyway. And of course, but despite the inflation, the VHX and Betamax were incredibly successful and changed home media forever. And virtually every movie studio was quick to hop on board, except for Disney. Hey, in both releasing new and older films. The major selling points of Betamax was the ability to, and like a ContreVision, and you could record television broadcasts from TV shows, sporting events, and of course movies, all of which, as predicted by Disney, led to a massive tidal rate of bootleg videos in piracy. So, oh, Disney and Universal both filed a lawsuit against Sony, who invented and manufactured the Betamax, which in turn led to the VHS, hoping to hoping to destroy the future of both devices. However, Disney was still at least interested in the concept of home entertainment, and Universal felt they had the perfect solution, DiscoVision. And, and they licensed 6 titles to Universal to be released on DiscoVision, many of which were segmented animated shorts from a Disneyland TV series. And unfortunately, immediately upon release in 1978, it was riddled with problems with DiscoVision, and was a commercial failure. And to further add insult to injury, the next year, Disney lost a court battle against Sony to kill the Betamax and VHS. Voila, because however, because Disney still wanted a piece of home media markup. This led to a new branch of the company called Disney Home Video. And a short time later, rather and ironically, Disney released 14 live-action titles and various cartoon shorts on Betamax and VHS. It's like the old saying goes, because if you can't beat them, join them. That's exactly what Disney did. Now, VHS, you guys all know how that went. It lasted a few years up until 2007. And while some Disney exclusives were all for true Disney classics on home videos, others that this would lower the value and discourage audiences from seeing them in theaters during the reissue periods. In 1981, a compromise was made to keep it list of their most iconic ludicrous and anime features, such as the Untouchables, that would never ever be released on video, and the only way to see them would be in theaters and not the ones on the list consisting of various apology films or anything that already aired on Disney's television series, including Alice in Wonderland and Number, which Walt Disney himself had said, chosen it as condensed versions in the 1950s were released alongside the ever known Untouchables on VHS and Betamax in 1981. Fine. However, fast forward a few years later, and which is Hutton, and heavily criticized individual, became CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Ella. Uh, such as creating a Disney Channel and Touchstone Pictures, essentially allowing Disney to release non-squeaky clean affection without the brand. Shareholders strongly disagreed with the number of his financial decisions in many eyes in the company. He has nepotism due to his marriage to Walt Disney's son, but Walt Miller was the very first in the company to suggest they create a special series called the Walt Disney Classics, which featured the untouchable classic animated films on home video. The idea didn't go very far, and in 1984, a single year afterwards, Ron Miller was essentially kicked out of the company. Who took his place? Michael Eisner. No. Huh. 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 And yet, despite the hesitation of the more conservative board members, he was able to convince them to release a handful of the Untouchables to home video. Anyway, the first released classic was actually Robin Hood. Of a whole new generation. Yeah. And that was actually the first classic from Disney to be released. Yes. The second one, more anticipated one, Pinocchio, of course. was if Henry came to home video. Remember, there was a catch to it. That's because you could watch it a bunch of times. And because Disney didn't want the I they priced them so high that only video stores could buy them at agreeing $79.95 or $227 at 64 cents. That's for inflation. And however, yeah, and of course, Pinocchio did mark the debut of the iconic When You Wish Upon a Star music, as you guys are well aware. Yeah. And I bet they used microphones to record that. Right. Yes. And despite the heavy price tag, Pinocchio and Robin Hood sold over 100,000 copies. And it was clear to executives like Michael Eisner and President Wells that relying almost entirely on video rentals, ignoring the countless parents who were willing to spend a bit more. Mm, that's when it caused a stir. And the When You Wish Upon a Star song is also used for the Disney logo rather than a different rendition. In a different rendition and orchestration. Mm. 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 And with the help of the previous head of Paramount Pictures Home Video at the time, who left the studio alongside Michael Eisner to become Disney's head of home video, they somehow convinced the board members to try a little experiment for the holiday season of 1985, a year I wasn't around. Because I was born too fast. And both prices of Robin Hood and Pinocchio were drastically reduced by over 60% to match their other titles, which target non-video rental stores, but parents could finally justify buying the classic Disney animation for their kids as part of its new strategy. Disney would make it clear that after the holidays, no more copies would be sold until its next theatrical re-release, more than half a decade later, thus again a true implementation of the infamous Disney Vault gimmick. The Disney Classic was released into theaters and then made available on video for a very limited time, which would increase urgency and exclusivity exclusivity within a matter of months. Disney would pull them off shelves until the next theatrical release 6 to 7 years later. Huh. Huh. Now, they are also known for releasing direct-to-video movies, such as the ones from Disney Toon Studios, which was actually originally called Disney Movie Tunes in 1990. Yeah. But however, that isn't always the case here, because Disney Toon Studios also did theatrical releases, not just direct-to-video ones. Hmm. Hmm. Then the little movie came along that would once again changed the Disney home video release model forever again. Uh, with the Little Mermaid, and Disney performed another experiment by releasing it on home video not years later, but less than 6 months after its theatrical run. The results, and because of that, the results were outstanding as it became the highest selling video in the US at that time and would officially end the practice of new Disney animated films going straight into the vaults after hitting theaters, and instead they went for straight to movie theaters, to home video guilds, and consumers buy them before going into the vault. And the elephant in the room here, though, that as the ability to finally only classic Disney animations meant families could rewatch their favorite movies over and over and over, spot some oddities that weren't caught. What? What? Hmm. There's yeah, the VHS cover of Illum made some notice the towers within the towers, despite a popular belief, with a single exception, and of a single grocery store temporarily removing the videos under a single complaint. It was never officially recalled by Disney and was supposedly called simply "The movie was going into the Disney vault like the others," as the company saw the whole thing as a giant misperception. But then you had the movie itself, as in the wedding scene, as the preacher appeared to be a little bit too excited for the bride and the groom, especially, and drew many complaints over the years over one incident. Hence, that did result in the video officially being recalled was the blank annual. Ole Miss scene in The Rescuers. Was, now obviously I won't show it here, but The second VHS release contained two frames of a woman who should have put up some curtains, and there was also a scene in The Lion King that seemed to spell the word red sex, and a lot of allegedly telling the viewers to take off their clothes, which eventually led to a number of lawsuits against Disney that were, of course, quietly handled by the team of lawyers who were serious enough to edit out, out of their future releases and force executives to keep a closer eye on a finished product. Yeah, completely. Hey, it's very patient between you and me. There's a only chance. And of course, the first time releases of Disney's past and present animated feature film had an almost video, most of which the business model was preceded by a theatrical re-release. It also saw the end of the video format war, which declared VHS as the true winner at the release of Peter Pan. Disney completely abandoned the Betamax forever, and even more importantly, this period of Disney's home video revolution revealed the true brilliance or manipulation of the infamous Disney Vault gimmick for maximum profit. As just within a few years after release, copies of movies as recent as Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast were almost impossible to find. Right? With previous titles, even more so, this resulted in a lot of desperate parents to keep in mind that auction sites like eBay and other online resellers still many years away from becoming the norm. So getting a hold of out-of-print copies was incredibly difficult to capitalize on this desperation. Disney began to they re-release animated films like Pinocchio and Robin Hood on VHS and re-release titles like Alice in Wonderland and Dumbo. And this is also without any real classification of uh, hierarchy of Disney films. It was thrown out the window, getting a confusing and convoluted release patterns we all know enough of. I mean, sure, we now see the titles as the original classics collection, such as those I just mentioned, and even Aladdin, but it makes total sense because at the time they were released on video, they were only a few months old. Disney essentially began to classify literally every new Disney animation as a quote-unquote classic. Heck, 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 without giving it the time to actually earn the status of a classic, like first entries into the collection. And I know it seems like a petty complaint, but wait until 1994. 1994 saw the first time release Upper Box and the Hound, and the final entry into the Classics collection. And, and then a new collection was on its way that would amplify tedious release strategy even further. And the first entry into the masterpiece makes total sense, as up till then, Snow and the Seven Dwarfs had never been released on home video, so it was a pretty big deal that it was also the last of its so-called Disney Untouchables roles to be released on video. Went on to produce record-breaking sales, but once again, Disney began to re-release titles for the third, fourth, or fifth time on home video. To play devil's advocate on the whole VHS release strategy, one could argue that since a major drawback of VHS tapes that they degrade over time, especially with repeat streams, These new Disney collections were a way to replace worn-down copies. Since they did almost the exact same thing with their far less popular Laserdisc versions, which don't degrade over time, I think we all know the real reason. And it also continued a rather presumptuous tradition of the previous series, which literally saw every single new Disney animated film honoring defined as a quote-unquote classic. Heck, or in this case, masterpiece. Yes, one of these scenes is not like the others, yet the collection has also featured titles like Black Cauldron, which Disney is infamously treated like the unwanted stepchild in their Disney canon. We are sorry about that. We are experiencing technical difficulties at the moment. We're gonna get it fixed and see what's going on. Stop with your couldn't get IP address bullshit. Shoes, I'm afraid, Mason. Hmm. We're trying our best to reconnect because some shitty Wi-Fi is having a bit of trouble. Now, we're gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna up and check. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with that screen. Yeah, that must be fucking up. Stop failing, no connection. I don't know. I'm gonna end the stream. Take a take a look at this problem. I'll start streaming again when it's ended. Okay. Mm, Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna see what's going on. On. So talk to you when this